Well, mate, you can only imagine that it'd be probably one of the better recovery sessions today. The boys would be pretty happy.
Yeah, they are. I think it's nice to, I suppose, finally put in place what we've been working on, against a really quality opposition. And yeah, we're just happy it went our way, and looking forward to now trying to play that way for the rest of the year.
So we're keeping a lid on things then?
Yeah, it's nice to win, but it doesn't mean anything if we lose this week and the subsequent weeks. So we're going to make sure we continue to play really competitive footy, and I think the best thing at the moment is we're getting a really good even contribution from everyone.
In practical terms, what do you take from the game, and what can you learn going from here?
Oh, just that when the pressure's on, and against a team who's experienced and got a lot of quality opposition, we can stand up and start to get a bit of belief in ourselves. It takes time to build, and we've been trying to do it for the last couple of years, but it just sort of seems now that it's finally starting to click with a few guys, and some guys are stepping up. I thought Ryan Bastanak was terrific again. Jackie Zeeble off missing the first couple of weeks to come in and play the way he did, and then Daniel Wells as well. It was great to see those guys sort of really contribute.
You mentioned Daniel Wells. We understand he's at the dentist this morning and hardly slept before the game. Not a bad performance on no sleep.
Yeah, he did burn us this morning, so I didn't want to. He came in early, and he's had a bit of trouble with some problems with his teeth, and been in a bit of pain, but it just shows the sort of resilience he's got, and especially after an injury interrupted pre-season. It's great to see him continue to play some good footy, and he's had a lot of doubters over the years, but he's finally starting to show that he can play well, and especially against adversity.
Does Hamish cop a bit of a ripping? Because if you hadn't missed it round one, you'd be 3-0.
No, you can't fault the big guy too much. So round one, he was just warming up and getting into it, and it just shows when he's in the side and Toddy's in the side as well, having those two big guys to rotate. I thought Toddy didn't get a lot of footy on the weekend, but his contest and the way he tacked it in the ruck really set us up. And he probably hasn't been there in the first 2 weeks, but he sort of got a bit of his mojo back on the weekend. And him and Hamish, the combination that they give us, just give us great flexibility.
Was there a real sense for you guys that you expected they would be tired, especially in those first few minutes? Could you feel it out there on the field that perhaps they were a little wounded, a little bruised and battered following the match against the Hawks?
Oh, we spoke about it pre-game. We knew that would have taken a lot out of them. I don't think they trained a lot last week, so we were really wary of that and really wanted to try and exploit it. And it was good to get off to a great start. It would have been nice to kick a bit straighter early on, but it was great to get off to a flying start and then really try and hold the game from there.
There was a lot spoken about the individual contest going into this game. You came out on top with Joel Selwood. He was supposed to be your matchup.
He did pretty well. Had a pretty good game himself. So no, it's hard when you're in the midfield. You play on so many different blokes. But he was a standout for them. But as I said, we had a lot of contributors in the midfield, especially. I got off to a pretty quiet start. But you had Boomer and Wells. He really lead the way early on, and then the other guys sort of get around him. Liam Anthony showed again. He's really ready to take that next step. Lee Adams. So it's great. We've got a lot of guys who are contributing.
It must be pleasing in the forward line the fact that Drew Petrie had such a quiet night, yet your scoring capacity wasn't diminished at all.
Yeah, I think it's something which Drury hasn't kicked a big bag. We've really struggled in recent years. So probably the biggest thing that Drew does is he takes the first and second key defenders. It allows Aaron Edwards to come in and do his bit now, and with Big Hamish down there as well. So Drew, why he probably didn't hit the scoreboard a lot, he competed and brought the ball to ground a lot of the time, which set up the other guys to sort of get on the scoreboard.
How did you guys pull up? A few bandages around, you've got one on?
Yeah, no, most of the boys I think are all right. We're just sore, as you always are after a game, but I think most of the boys should be right for this week. And we're up against Sydney, which is another quality opposition. The way they're going to play, the contest that they give week in, week out. So we're looking forward to it. We've got to recover really well now and get up there and make sure it's not just a one-off win, but we can start to string a few really quality wins against some quality opposition.
Just on that, you mentioned backing it up before. Obviously, it's a big notch, but how important does this week become, to prove yourself again?
It's as important as every other week, but yeah, we're not going to hang our hat and our season on one win. Why it's great and nice to, I suppose, beat them. The reigning premiers. As I said before, it doesn't mean a lot if we can't back it up now for the rest of the year. So, we're just looking for that consistency of effort week in, week out, and if the guys can do what they did on the weekend, I think we'll be hard to beat.
Were you guys surprised as a midfield group that no one seemed to go to Boomer Hutton?
I think most teams put a bit of time into him, and Boomer, I suppose, someone who you give him an inch and he's just so quick and he's super competitive. He runs as hard as he can and gives us a lot. So, I suppose it's up to individual teams, but I'm happy to see Boomer run around by himself, and if he's going to rack up 38, 39 touches every week, well, that'd be good for us.